Hello everyone, my name is Corbin from K9 and Corvid, and today's video is going to be all about setting up my first altar to Hecate in my new home. This altar is going to be focused around Hecate because she's like the only deity that really does speak to me and the only one that has ever spoken to me. I do practice witchcraft. I've also been really wanting to make a protection altar somewhere in our home just to make sure that we're protected and grounded in these just crazy times that we are living in. I'm mostly making this video because I am relatively new to my practice and my spirituality, so I am not that knowledgeable. I really wanted some constructive criticism in the comments and just general advice. I would love if you could like drop some books to read down in the comments below, because I do love to read books and I think that's the way that my brain absorbs knowledge the best, is by reading. I've also been watching YouTube videos, but I often watch those, retain the information just for a little bit, and then it kind of just flies out of my brain. I am sort of a babbling, bumbling dingus right now, so just some patience maybe. A little background information about me is when I was like 15, 16, I was working with Hecate and I used to have like a little altar set up in my bedroom. I would do some spells and stuff and I'd be like, look at me, I'm doing my little witchcraft. I was like definitely into it, but I wasn't like, it wasn't as spiritual for me as it is now. When I did start spell work and spiritual craft, she was really kind of the only deity that really spoke to me. I just love her values. I think we align pretty well. I got a dog. When I used to work with her, my life was really flourishing and I really was in a good place. I think whenever I stopped working with her, that kind of went downhill a little bit. I have found her to be a deeply nurturing spirit and just an attachment point for me to look inwards on myself and find my own spirituality and decipher things for myself. Just as like a way to find guidance in my own exploration of myself, I guess. Now, in 2018, whenever I was 16, I went through sort of a traumatic event where I lost all of my hair, and because of that, I did stop practicing. It is now 2026, and at the beginning of the year, I started practicing again, and I have found her to be very accepting of that. Like I said, at the beginning of the year, I started like working on myself again and really just like coming back to my roots and finding really who I was. I think I was lost for a really long time and I'm finally getting back to where I want to be. And for the first time in years, I'm actually like, I feel happy with myself, which sounds stupid and hurtful, but it is what it is. I started in the middle of January just like cleaning up trash around the river, and then it really turned into a big project for me, and I cleaned like hundreds of gallons of trash out of our local river because the city never cleaned it up after the Texas floods. And so in doing that, I started meditating more, and in meditating more, I started focusing on myself and my spirituality, and then tumbleweed, you know? That's whenever Hecate started calling to me again, and I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. Let's do it. It'll be fun. When I started working with her again and starting communing with my own spirituality, I had a rapid reconstruction of my faith and my inner spirituality. So I kind of, whenever I find a new thing that I like to do, my special interest has been self-help recently. I kind of go really in on it. So going in on this. Honestly, I haven't felt like a big calling to create an altar. The main reason that I want to make this altar is again for protection and just for like a little treat for myself for my birthday, because yesterday was my birthday. And so I want to just like set this up as a little place to like self-meditate. Our animals like to hang out underneath there, and so it'll bring a lot of protective energy to them. And I think it'll be a good reminder as I walk out the door of my home just to stay grounded, stay protected, and love yourself, I guess. Okay, enough about me. Boring. Let's talk altar placement now. So I'm choosing to place my altar above the frame of my door at my like front door of my home. Honestly, I couldn't tell you like why I had the gut feeling to do that. But after I had the gut feeling to do that, I started doing research. And then once I did research, I was like, oh, confirmation bias. We're doing it. I just had this like deep gut feeling that it needed to be there. And then, you know, good idea. I'm trying to lead everything in my life through intention and gut feelings recently. So it's really working out. I'll probably still spend most of my time commuting with Hecate down like by the river and in my daily life and like in my meditation and self-healing practices. But this is just a nice little place for protection and good vibes. Now I do have 2 roommates and I have been given permission by my roommates to set this up. I think it'll be good for us to all like, as a little reminder to like stay grounded, work on ourselves, be protected, and we definitely need the protection in these times. So, yay! This is gonna be like not really a solo altar. I've been given some things to place on the altar by my roommates, so they can feel free to add anything that they want to whenever. We kind of have like a live-in coven. There is 3 of us with like a touch of the feminine hand, so we could do like some deep connection spells with Hecate, which I think would be really fun, and we all practice, so we could get some things done. Also, some reasons why I wanted to be here and not in my bedroom is whenever I want to feel grounded, I often sit on the floor, and we have concrete floors, so I like feeling the cold on my toesies. But I think it'll be nice just to like sit at the front door and just feel the protective energy while I'm just sitting there. We also have 2 animals. I've got a puppy, I've got a doggo named Waylon, and we have a cat named Beeb, and they both terrorize our front doormat all the time. Waylon likes to sleep on the doormat like all the time whenever we're in the kitchen or just in general. And Beeb likes to run up all underneath the doormat and cause a ruckus. I think the protective energy that they already instill at the front door will also help a lot as well. All right, let's get this altar set up, y'all. Okay, sorry, we're not doing that yet. First of all, I like to thrift things, and most of my offerings for my altar will be like items that I've either thrifted, found at the river, collected on hikes, or like were from my old altar, or like gifts from friends. I have bought a couple things, but like it is really not much. It's mostly just things that I have found. I did find a lot of my old crystals and like junk today, so we're gonna just be throwing all that up there. A lot of this too, I really love symmetry, and I love things to be like parallel. So we are going to be clutter maxing to the gods, but it's also going to be mostly symmetrical, hopefully. I like to call what I do mostly in life organized chaos, because I feel like that is really truly what I be doing all the time. I have done research about mostly what we're putting on this altar. Some of these items are literally just gut feelings and intuition, so I was like, all right, you're going on. But I did do a good amount of research for most of these items. But again, I would love constructive criticism in the comments. So if there is something that is wrong, please let me know. All right, let's do this. So the first thing we have is, I've had these little witch bells on our door for a few days, and so those are just on there for protection. And then if we move up here, I made these cute little Hecate-inspired garlands that I just attached up here. I thrifted these little sconce things. They're candle holders. And then this is what we're gonna use for the altar. It's just like a little craft box that I had laying around the house that I spray painted to match the door. But this garland has rosebuds, lavender, we've got some keys, we've got some just like assorted quartzes, amethyst, we got little moonstones and garnets. And then off of those, we're gonna be hanging these smoky quartz and citrine little pendants because they are super cute. All right, so first thing I wanted to do is I had this little statue that represents her. And then I got these 3 little obsidian doggos that are super cute to represent her 3 dogs. And then I found some smoky quartz pillars that are just right there. Super cute. Okay, and then I threw down these little candle holders that I'm gonna use as offering trays. And then we got candelabras going on over here. These are gonna be just decorative because I am not lighting a fire right above my doorway onto the ceiling. If I want to do something with fire, I would do it down there and move that. And then I have this little obsidian crow that like represents me as Corbin, and then some black tourmaline. And then next, I'm throwing on this little moonstone, like crow skull guy, cause it's cool, and that's me for real. Okay, I've changed my mind. So I have this assorted pile of crow candy that it's got some clear quartz, some smoky quartz, some obsidian, some black tourmaline, some black pearls that I thrifted, some white pearls, just general me vibes, and also a lot of the gemstones that she enjoys. And I'm gonna throw them in this pocket and this pocket, and then I'm gonna save this pocket open, and when I get a tarot deck, it's gonna live here. Okay, I went and got more crow candy from my room, but this speaks very heavily to my soul. So this is the middle. This is where I'm gonna put my tarot deck, and then little representations of myself. Some crow candy and a moonstone crow skull. And some pearls, because I love pearls. We got all the good ones over here. And then I just put that there for now. But we have black tourmaline and a black candle. Black tourmaline and a black candle. I'm gonna fix that real quick. But so far, so good. Okay, so on the sides, I added 2 candles for each. This one broke, so I had to kind of glue it back together, but it looks sick because it's got all kinds of wax marks on it. And then we have these decorative little 6 candles right here, and then I put 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. So we do have 13 candles in total, which is her number. And then here I have my moon water that I made yesterday on my birthday. It was like a 98% full moon. It was the first night of the waning gibbous, but it was birthday moon water, so I figured that would be really nice. And then I put out some offerings, just a little bit of lavender salt, a little lavender, and a little rosebud. And this is what we got going so far. More to come. And then with this little touch right here, we have 13 keys now on the altar. This is 5 keys, and then on the little garlands I made, there's 8 keys in total. So we have the number 13 represented once more. And then in this little cubby, this is what my roommates have donated. I just kind of set it up like that. But we are all done. We got the 13 candles, the 13 keys, and then I got some birthday moon water up here. Got some 3 little dogs, 2 crows to represent me, and then a little offering. Yay! That looks so pretty. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, Tinker? What are you doing? Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. You're not getting nothing. No T words. No T words. Meow. Oh, big stretch. Big old stretch. What? Why are you screaming? Why are you crying? Cutie-ba-cutie. Both of the critters. Oh, where'd she go? She go. I bet it is.
I bet you are.
Oh my gosh! Alright, I just realized that I completely forgot to film an outro for that video. I am editing it. It's like a week later. But this is what we're working with. It's still up. And if you like that video, sure, do the things. I don't care.
Hell yeah.
Here's the little updates. I added this little lantern I thrifted like a long time ago. And then just some junk that I got down at the river. And we have Screaming Cat here. Say bye! Say bye! Meow. Okay, whatever. Mean girl. There we go. Bye!